Well, thanks for logging on. I'm Meteorologist Brandon Lashbrook of the Storm Tracker team for your tropical update for this Sunday evening. And after a little bit of a lull late in August, things have really picked up in this month, September. We've seen Francine, Gordon, Helene, of course, make landfall in Florida, and Isaac and Joyce out in the Atlantic right now. Next name would be Kirk, and we'll like to see that sooner rather than later, as the Atlantic does remain pretty active this month with an area to watch. In the Caribbean, we have a couple named storms out there: Isaac, Joyce, and newly formed tropical depression number 12, and another area to watch in yellow there in the eastern Atlantic. So let's start off with the one closest to home. We have a medium chance of development over the next 7 days as of the Sunday 1 p.m. outlook from the National Hurricane Center, but also a 0% chance of development over the next 2 days. As you see, there really is no disturbance present. Yeah, we got some shower and storm activity out there in a broad area of lower pressure, but there is no well-defined center of circulation. But we do forecast possibly a more defined low pressure center forming maybe by midweek or so, where tropical depression may be possible as it moves generally off into the west northwest, eventually possibly making its way into the Gulf of Mexico by the later half portion of this upcoming work week. So that is why we have that medium chance of some development. So right now, though, again, it's an area to watch. There's no current disturbance, there's no current invest down there or a named storm, but something to watch very closely, however, as you may be seeing online of some impact to the Gulf Coast in about a week's time. But any individual model run that you may be seeing online, of course, would be more subject to flip-flopping and changes, as there is no center of circulation to latch onto right now. So if a system does form and moves into the Gulf of Mexico, from there is pretty high uncertainty on what it may do if it does form. A system could begin to move to the north and maybe northeast. That's a possibility. Or if it's a little bit more weaker, it could begin to move just more westward into the western Gulf of Mexico. And so we look at ensemble runs, and those ensembles of the GFS model of the American and the European are still pretty all over the place, from systems in the eastern Gulf of Mexico all the way into the Bay of Campeche as well. So a lot of spread on any potential track. It's well too early to talk about any potential tracks or intensity of any system. So right now, though, we of course want to just keep an eye on the forecast and keep monitoring it. So what we know now is that tropical development is possible by midweek, potentially moving into the Gulf of Mexico by late week this week. But again, it's too early right now to pinpoint any specific track or intensity of any potential storm. However, all along the Gulf Coast, from anywhere from Texas, Louisiana, all the way to Florida, we need to keep aware of the forecast, keep an eye on it as we go through this week. But right now, though, there's no immediate threat here in Louisiana. But again, we want to make sure we keep a close eye on the forecast as we go through this upcoming week. Elsewhere on the Atlantic, we have a couple named storms. We have Tropical Storm Isaac out there. This was a Category 2 storm yesterday, a hurricane, but is beginning to weaken as it's over cooler and colder waters in the north central Atlantic. Will begin to move north and northeastward, weakening as it does so. And again, over open waters, no threat to land will Isaac be. Tropical Storm Joyce, however, is into the more so the mid-Atlantic, just well off to the northeast of the Les Antilles and well southeast of Bermuda there. It's currently just barely hanging on as a tropical storm. Will be weakening as it does move northward over the next couple days, and then likely dissipating by midweek all over open waters, no threat to land. Behind Joyce, though, we have newly minted Tropical Depression 12. This was Invest 90L earlier this afternoon, but we do have a close center of circulation and some convection and storm activity around it, and we are expecting this to become Tropical Storm Kirk by tomorrow as it moves westward and then northwestward, likely strengthening to maybe a hurricane to a major hurricane possibly by the end of the week. But notice the track, though, all over open waters, so no threat to land right now and no immediate concern for Tropical Depression 12. Now behind that is another tropical wave that is moving off of the coast of Africa right about here with some minimal shower and storm activity. That has a chance for some development as it moves generally west-northwestward in that yellow area there, where some development is possible by midweek or so, maybe a tropical depression forming, but again, that's a low chance right now over the next 7 days, and something to keep an eye on, to watch and monitor over the next few days for any potential development. But as of right now, no immediate concerns with that tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic. So bring it back home to the disturbance, or a likely disturbance may be forming by midweek or so in the Caribbean. Again, right now, no immediate cause for panic or concern, but just keep an eye on the forecast very closely, of course, as you go through this weekend. And if anything does form, we will be the first to let you know, of course, online and on air. And you can check out all the forecast too on BeOurProud.com.